So next we will discuss about this. What is difference between anypoint MQ and MQS? It should be other messaging. Okay, other messaging queue. Okay. So here what is difference between anypoint MQ and other messaging queues? Okay. So first thing if you want to use anypoint MQ, you need license from Mulesoft. Okay. Again, that one is not free. If you want to use, you need to buy license. In other messaging queue, if you can find there are few free messaging queue are there, so you can use that one. Or we have very famous popular one, that is Java messaging queue. And a part of that we have this mm, AQ, active queue. So that is provided by IBM. Java messaging queue is, I think, open source, and we have few other messaging services also. Every messaging services has some advantage and disadvantage. Okay. And pricing also vary. Other thing for example, you are working with some client and they are already using Java messaging queue, then definitely they will not move to anypoint MQ. Since they have already all those setup, they have already license and everything, they will continue with that messaging queue only. In other scenario, we may have some kind of restriction where whatever target system is there, they are unable to consume message from JMS or anypoint MQ. They can consume message from only AQ, that is provided by IBM. So in that case, you have that kind of limitation or restriction, you have to go with other messaging queue. Apart of that, there are some advantage and disadvantage also there. At this moment, I am not very handy for that, so you can explore on internet what all advantage, which means what all advantage we have with anypoint MQ, JMS queue and AQ. Only just compare for these three queue, you will get proper, that should be more than enough. Okay, even I will try to collect. Long back I collected, but means at this moment I don't have handy with me. But in short, you can tell them this things depends on multiple factor. First is client is using which existing queue system, messaging queue system is used by client. Second thing, the target system, like where we want to send message, they are compatible with which messaging queue, so we need to use that one only. Since we are broker, okay, how target system will understand, we should let them understand in their way only. Okay, fine. Now we have one scenario here. System API has to call external REST API, okay, which gives 200 record with flag true. If flag is true, and again we need to call external system API, it gives again 200 record with flag. We need to call until it give false. Once it give false, we need to accumulate the payload and send it to back to calling API to client. How you can achieve this? Anyone want to think about this? What and how we can do? So every time we are getting 200 request, to 200 response, until we will not get flag false, we will keep calling. So first thing, can we use here parallel processing or not? Parallel for each or scatter gather. First tell me about scatter gather. We can use, if yes, then why, and if no, then why? Anyone want to answer? So first thing, scatter gather we can't use. Why? We don't know how many branch we need to create. Since number of record will vary, so number of call will vary. So we don't have fixed number of branch, then scatter gather is not possible. Batch processing. Here, like our source in request, we are not getting multiple payloads. Okay, so again batch processing is not possible. In request, if we will get huge number of payload, then only batch processing we can use. But here in response, we are getting payload. Now parallel for each. Parallel for each again we can't use, since we have to wait for one call, then only we will able to make second call. In parallel for each, all call will start at a time. So again parallel for each we can't use. So only option we have for each. So in for each we will call this particular payload, particular API to get response. If flag is true, then we will create one variable. Okay, we will store that payload in that variable. Next time, if again it's true, then we will update that variable with this value, like with previous value and new value. We will concat those two value. In next call, again it's giving flag true, then we will concat previous one with new one, and once we will get false, we will stop our for loop. And okay, 1 minute, here it's for loop. So in for loop again it will learn how many time we are defining that loop, means how much time loop will run. Let me think how we can control from inside.
Ravi, sorry to interrupt actually. So for this requirement, can we use a choice router?
Choice router, yeah, choice we have to use internally. Once we will get response, you need to use choice router to identify you will add that payload or not with existing payload. Okay, but the thing is how we will stop this for each. This for each will start. Let me check. Validation is true. We have something. I have a for each loop which iterate overall array 4 times. Now I want to break up the loop when item 3 match. Okay, so you need to use this particular scope, mule component. Validation is true. So what you will do, so what you need to do, so first thing, you will run inside for loop, and count you can give like 100 or something, means that you need to check with business like how many maximum record we can achieve. So that count you will give in for each, like how much time your for loop will run. that you will define and that you can hard code, or maybe you can take from property file. Now inside for loop you will keep checking that condition. If that is true, then you will keep adding that value inside variable. You will keep like means accumulating all those value. And once you will get false, then you need to use that is valid function. Okay, what he has discussed here, validation is true function, like a mule component, and you will break that for loop and you will come outside of that for loop. Okay, so we can handle in that way. Is it clear? Now, how to roll back when any of the database operation fail. So we already discussed about XCA and non-XCA transaction. If file size is huge, how to process init mule any challenge. So first thing, if file size is huge, then you can select that streaming option in file connector. Second thing, you can you can increase size of vcore. That those two things you can do. Now how to integrate Splunk. Okay, so this part, for this part I will give you one video. Okay, you need to follow that 1 hour video, then you will come to know what are the fragment type of the YAML and under which fragment you can put client ID and client secret. So in YAML actually we can create fragment. Inside fragment we can create threads, and inside threads you can create headers, and inside header you can put client ID and client secret. Okay, so fragment will be your folder structure, or you can say repository, where you will create threads. Inside threads you will create this header. We don't have error handling in neither global error handler nor flow level. Okay, so here what they are saying, neither you have global error handling, neither you have flow level. So by default what it will do, it will go to default error handler, and default error handler will it contains on error propagate with blank payload. Okay, so now it's saying like how you will send response as a 503. So on error propagate always send error response. So what you need to do, you need to go to your HTTP requester, sorry, HTTP listener. Inside this listener you need to go in response, and inside this response you need to define 503 here. Instead of this default value 500, you need to define default value 503. In that case client will get 503 in response. Is it clear? Okay, next we will take this 9 question. We will take 5-minute break.